Alright, so we're going to be moving on to the 21st, sorry, geez. 21st question in grind 75. This one is called add binary. We're given 15 minutes for it, and so we'll start the countdown now. Okay, so given two binary strings A and B, return their sum as a binary string. Okay, so, okay, I see. 0 and 1. Each string does not contain leading zeros except for the zero itself. Okay, so let's see. Alright, so they don't have to be the same length. A and B do not have to be the same length. So let's think about this example 2 first. So if we were to line these two characters up, one on top of the other, so say we have A equals, and then we have B equals, and A is like this, and it's like that. We know our result is going to be this. We can match 1 to 1, so a 0 and a 1 yields a 1, 1 and a 1 will carry over to this 0 here. However, if either of these values is a 1, then that's also going to carry over to there. Then we're going to have to make another one. And again, we were using strings, so like 2-char array kind of deal. Also, so how do we want to do this? I mean, we could iterate over, say we iterate over the one that is longer. And we can just have an if check. If we're out of bounds of the shorter one, then we'll just pass. Or rather, if we are within the bounds, then we'll, look at both of them. So we have let's just come up with the different cases really quick. So cases. So we can have a 0 and a 0, 0 plus 0. We can have 0 plus 1. Or we can have 1 plus 1. So these cases we can change the value in place, or so these cases are in place. We're also, so can we can just create our own string too, it seems like. And I think we might have to have some variable called carry to just keep track of, if we've carried. So we know, okay. Yeah, we know if they're equal, then the value in place will be 0. If they are unequal, the value in place will be 1. However, there is a difference between this and this, because this will add to our carry. And our carry will sort of have to be added to everything that's already there. So if we say we have like this, 1 and 1 will become 0, which will carry here. However, this 1 and 1 will also become 0, which will add another to our carry. Okay, and then we say release one of the carries here. So then maybe that would become like this. We still have one more carry. So that would become, you know, a 1 and a 1 here, but then another 1 and another 1, I believe. So let me just gonna remember we have that carry value. Also, we're going to be adding to the front of the string rather than the back of the string. I think we should just be able to do plus equals for string, right? We can do string addition in Java, right? I'm pretty sure we can. String addition in Java, I'm pretty sure we can. So I know we can start off by creating, say this one's just going to be called result. Just initialize it to an empty string. And we're going to want to be peeling off of the back. And, well, that's sort of iffy. So if we're peeling off of the back, then we'd be using the longest elements index first, which would be out of bounds of the other one. What if we were to go from the front? Would that honestly have any difference? So we know that looking at example 2, our output should be this. So if we're going to from the front, 1 and 1, that will carry over to here. 0 and 0 will, yeah, it will have a difference because our result would look something like 1 and 1. Oh, we turn that to 0. 1 gets carried over. 1 and 1, that turns to 0, but we have a carry. And then 1 and 1 with the carry plus the 1 will turn to 0, but then we have a 1. Turn to 0, but we have a 1 there. Wait, did I do that right? Okay. 1 and 1 becomes 0. Then we carry over to get a 1. Then 1 and 1 becomes 0. But then we carry over. 1 and 1 becomes 0. Maybe I'm not thinking of this completely correctly. So if carries don't get handled properly, like does it build up like that though? Like if we have 1 1 1 1 like constantly like that, which we tried to look at here. So just really quickly, we know this would yield in binary. This would yield this number right here is 1 plus 2 plus 8, which is 11. So the addition of them would be 22, and in binary, that would look like, so if we put that in parentheses, that would look like, so we have 8, and then we have 16, so we'll do 16 plus 8 is too big, so then we'll do 4 plus 2, and that should be it. Okay, so again, going comparison to comparison. So 1 and 1, that gives us a 0. Okay, but we carry over. 1 and 1, that should give us a 0, but we have a carry, so then we add to it. And then this 1 and 1 creates its own carry, which gets put here. And then 0 and 0, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. 1 and 1. Those will become 0, but then carry over. 1 and 1 also becomes 0, but will create their own carry. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna restart again. So 1 and 1, they will become this 0 right here, but they will generate a 1 that will be carried over. these ones right here will also become 0 and generate their own one, which will be carried over. But we have to account for the one that was carried over from these values right here, the first. Okay, and since we have 0 and 0, we are okay, and we can just let the carry from this carry over here, and then we're left with this 1 and 1, which will become 0, and then carry a value up to the next spot there. So we do have to go from the back of the string. It does bother me that they're not the same length too. Maybe we can just do dot length each time, or dot length minus 1, I guess. Char at dot length minus 1. But then how do we convert the character to a string? Convert char to a string. Yeah, this is a good problem. It's not definitely one I'm not familiar with really at all. We don't have to worry about leading zeros. So, okay, I just want to know how we can peel off from the back properly. Also, say we just had like this. We'd peel off from the back. This one would be empty. Once we satisfy the carry, then we could just add everything that's there. Okay. I just don't want to mess up adding that carry though. So let's just say well a dot equals this empty string. Okay, it will be at least length 1. And b dot equals also this empty string. Then what are we going to do? While they're not empty, we're going to peel them off and then do, some of these cases. So we'll say plus it's a string, so how do we get the character value? I mean, we can start off with the easier one. If char a dot char at a dot length minus 1 does not equal b dot char at b dot length minus 1, then we can safely apply a 1 to the spot in the string. It would be the front of the string, unless of course we have a carry. So we also have to think about like when we would make an integer carry right quick, set that equal to 0. it's difficult to think of how I can make this the most logically concise I can. Countdown is almost up, so we're just going to stop it. So let's see. Carry must be if a.char at length. How do we do this in a more concise way, though? I get what should happen physically, but we have these different cases. How can we consolidate the logic across these cases? Let's factor in the carry. I'm just going to give that a 1. So this becomes, so I guess effectively in terms of addition, we can do 0, or we can have 1, or we can have 2, or we can have 3. And these are the 3 different cases. So 0, 1, 1. Looking back at this, one and one becomes 0, but then we add to the carry. 1 and 1 will become 0, then we add to the carry. We first put the carry into the spot, and then we add to the carry. Then that generates zone. These. So I guess it's like compare values. Then it would be generate carry if necessary. Change value in place. Apply carry if necessary. That's kind of the general approach. Maybe I probably should have written that out sooner. It's just all a little hazy kind of as to how we should implement this. So compare generate carry if necessary. So again, it's going to be sort of difficult to, the easiest thing we can do is see if they're the same. So let's say, okay, in the case that they're different, let's say and carry is equal to 1. Then result, or I guess we would say string maybe addition equal to that addition plus equals result, result equals addition, else if maybe these are equal, it's the case that they're equal, and carry is equal to 1. Where do we apply carry though? I mean, we could do a check on the outside if carry is equal to 1, and then do these checks. Just how are we supposed to know the proper order? Else if changes if we have a carrier or not. I'm going to put this outside actually, just really quick. So if carry is equal to 1, then maybe we'll do these. Okay, carry is equal to 1, then we know string addition Also, how do we truncate strings? That's another thing. Because we want to essentially chop off that last bit of A or B because we're going from the back and shrinking it. This is a Java specifically makes this syntactically difficult, and then just I'm sort of lost on the proper order to go about comparing values and then adding them. So I'm gonna stop here actually. That's sort of tough, but yeah, we'll go over the correct answer and the solution, obviously.